First up, the one you all know and probably love, Khorne, the Blood God. Born from the very first act of murder, Khorne is the literal embodiment of rage, undiluted hatred, and the boundless fury of battle. He is the god of war and slaughter, and he gets stronger with every single act of violence, whether it's committed by his own blood-crazed followers or their desperate enemies. He doesn't play favorites. He sits brooding on a throne of skulls, which itself rests atop a literal mountain of bone, simply watching the galaxy burn itself out in glorious, bloody warfare. His followers, like the infamous World Eaters Legion, are absolute berserkers who live only for the kill. They charge into battle, screaming his apocalyptic war cry,
"Blood for the Blood God! Skulls for the Skull Throne! Let the galaxy burn!"
Khorne utterly despises magic, seeing it as the tool of cowards and weaklings, and only respects raw, uncompromising physical strength. His philosophy is brutally simple. He doesn't care where the blood comes from, only that it flows. Next, representing the complete opposite of Khorne's smash-and-grab style, Tzeentch, the Changer of Ways. Tzeentch is the chaos god of change, boundless ambition, labyrinthine scheming, and forbidden magic. He is the architect of fate, a cosmic puppet master pulling the strings behind galaxy-spanning conspiracies that can take thousands of years to unfold. Every time someone hopes for a better future, every time a king schemes for more power, that energy feeds him. His followers are powerful psychers, sorcerers, and manipulators, like the Thousand Suns Legion, whose tragic leader Magnus the Red was tricked into eternal damnation by his own noble thirst for knowledge. Tzeentch himself is a swirling, ever-changing vortex of raw magic that's said to be impossible for a mortal mind to look at. He is a liar and a cheat, but he offers forbidden knowledge and immense power to anyone brave or foolish enough to ask, though the price is always, inevitably, your soul. From the maddening maze of schemes, we fall into the festering garden of rot. Meet Nurgle, the Plaguefather. Nurgle is the god of death, disease, and decay. But here's the fascinating twist. He's not just about destruction. Nurgle also represents the grim, stubborn resilience of life, and the bizarrely cheerful sense of joy you might get from simply accepting your terrible fate. He's fed by despair, but also by the will to live through it. His followers, like the ridiculously tough Death Guard, are blessed with horrific diseases that make them almost impossible to kill. They are walking bioweapons who cheerfully spread glorious plagues for their grandfather Nurgle. For a god of pestilence, he's surprisingly friendly and fatherly to his followers, viewing his endless plagues as benevolent gifts and his demons as his cherished children. His realm is a macabre paradise of death and life, a garden where fungi puff out vile spores and muddy rivers slither across the land. The last of the big four is the youngest, and in many ways, the most dangerous, Slaanesh, the Prince of Pleasure. Slaanesh is the god of excess, desire, hedonism, and every sensation imaginable, both exquisite pleasure and excruciating pain. Every intense feeling, from the ecstasy of enjoying a masterpiece of art to the most twisted and depraved forms of torture, gives Slaanesh more power. Slaanesh was literally born from the psychic overload of the ancient Aeldari Empire. Their society became so decadent and self-indulgent that their collective emotions punched a hole in reality, creating the warp storm known as the Eye of Terror and wiping out most of their species in a psychic apocalypse called the Fall. Followers of Slaanesh, like the debased Emperor's children, are obsessed with experiencing everything, pushing all sensations to their absolute and often fatal limit. They are both artists and maniacs, finding a terrible beauty in horror and an ecstatic pleasure in pain. Slaanesh can appear as male, female, or both at once, a figure of terrifying, seductive, and ultimate perfection. Now we're going into the deep cuts of forgotten lore. First is a fan favorite that Games Workshop wrote out of the official canon, Malice, the renegade god. Also known as Malal in much older texts, Malice is the embodiment of chaos fighting itself. He is the god of anarchy, pure vengeance, and a profound, self-destructive nihilism. Here's the central paradox. He gets stronger by destroying the other chaos gods and their followers. His entire existence is dedicated to tearing everything down, including, eventually, himself. His followers, the enigmatic Sons of Malice, are just as intense and contradictory, known for fighting both the Imperium and other Chaos worshippers with equal cannibalistic fury. While not officially canon in modern 40K, his core concept of chaos turning on itself is simply too cool for fans to ever let go. And now for a true piece of meta lore. An inside joke from the creators of the game. Ever wonder why Chaos Space Marines love adding so many spikes to their armor? According to some ancient, obscure texts, it's a way to worship a trio of minor powers: Ansel, Mork, and Frazatter. These gods are actually an old inside joke, as their names are puns on the original creators of the Warhammer game. They aren't real, canon deities, but their story shows how in the vast, belief-driven reality of the warp, even the smallest and most stylistic obsessions, like adding pointy bits to your armor, can be interpreted as an act of profound devotion.